You're familiar with the case, though?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Ask me whatever questions you want to ask.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're ready. Let's just start, just kind of as a mic check, let's get your first and last name.
My name is Frank J. Valles, sir.
Okay. So I guess the main question would be, we had made at least one other request to talk to you, but you didn't want to talk. Why have you decided you want to talk now?
Oh, at first it was just all too fast, everything that it transpired. Cultural differences is a big factor, and no disrespect to black race or Mexican race or white race. And that's where all this is boiled down to, with a homicide detectives trying to say that I killed my tribal brother. And I respected his wishes, sir. He was dying from dialysis. He had kidneys. We go back many, many years, and we brought him here to Kern County to make a new life because his own family disowned him, and for a sex offense that was committed on a reservation, and they all testified against him. And you know, we have what's called a sweat lodge. It changed me years ago. I did state time. I got out and did good for myself. Tribal consultant, researcher, working with a lot of tribal members on different reservations. We brought John home, Alphonso home. Here, we picked him up at Avenal State Prison, his new wife, my new wife. Everything was real good. It was like about a year and a half after he started getting sick because of all the arguments with him and his wife. And we had rushed him to San Joaquin Hospital, and they said he had kidney problems and bladder problems. And before you know it, there was another problem. We had to rush him again to Kern General.
What was his condition?
The kidneys were going out.
Okay.
And one went.
He was just suffering from kidney failure.
Yeah,
Another disease on top of it or anything?
Well, I guess it's hereditary. His father, I guess his biological father, Tefilio Lugo, was from the Saboba Indian Reservation, San Jacinto. His mom, Barbara Gladys Hyde, was from Morongo. The molestation case that happened in 88, 89, it led two sisters and their kids, three sisters, excuse me. One testified, and like I said, he did his time, you know, at the sweat lodge, and he turned his whole life around, but he felt disowned by them and betrayed. So, you know, to him, we were the only family. We brought him here. He did a perfect parole. One of the main things I want to ask is, why can't BPD homicide release all the evidence, the toxicology report, the autopsy? They said there's unknown causes.
So, if I'm understanding you right, if I understand what you're saying that that Hyde's death was a mercy killing?
No. He died from a heart attack, sir.
He died from a heart attack?
Yeah, because I was in the car when he died. You never asked me that. We were going in. I had to respect his wishes because he wanted an Indian ritual. He wanted me to do that after 4 years, and which I did, and I was honoring it. Our cultural differences are completely different than a lot of other religions. We believe in the sweat lodge and a lot of other stuff that, before Memorial time, my family's been here, the Linares family. We're one of the original families. And you see Berkeley, you can pull up Mercedes Linares and Pedro Miranda. They were all born in the 1830s and 40s, sir. Okay. And their forebears before them. But you know, he died of a heart attack, and he asked me not to resuscitate him many months before. We had went to LA to a hospital, I believe it's called Martin Luther King Hospital. It has a walkway across, and I remember a Catholic lobby, and I was going to donate my kidney to him. And I've been asking a lot of people to look into that, but they said there's no record. My wife went, and his wife went too, when we did that. So I mean,
did you get checked to see if you?
Oh no, they said I was a perfect match.
Oh.
They said I was going to give him my kidney so he could stay alive, but he deteriorated because he only had one kidney and half of it working. The bladder was completely messed up. He did insulin. When he had the heart attack, it was a popping sound, like, and I pulled over and
Where were you?
we were coming on the Golden State Highway, and I pulled over, and I realized he was having a heart attack, and I didn't know. I was in shock. At first, I wanted to go to the hospital, but then I told myself I had to respect his wishes.
Right.
And you know, when I was interrogated for 4 days, BPD office, these homicide detectives, they violated 4th and 5th and 6th and all kinds of illegal search and seizures. That's why I brought the paperwork here, so I could read. I sent my sister the actual paperwork for the autopsy. There's no signs of trauma on the body, no signs of any type of person that would be killing.
So, and I kind of understand what you're saying about the cultural differences, but for people who are watching this who might not understand, why did you bury him in your yard?
Because I had to wait 4 years into, we believe in the 4 directions in the sweat lodge, and we honor in the 4th year, which would have been September the 13th of 2000, this 12 that passed, I was going to, a burnt offering is what you do, sir.
So he has to be buried for 4 years and then you burn him?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay, so you just had him buried and
I brought him to I had him at the ranch, and I brought him to where I lived at because I wanted him close to me. Like I said, there was another case like this in Orange County where a man buried his father, you know what I mean? And I guess they found skeletal remains, and they didn't charge him with murder. They charged him with grand theft and embezzlement. But all I'm saying is that I will be my own attorney, and I get to cross-examine all these people lined up. They're all befriended me because they had nothing. They were dirt and poor. I was poor. I worked in the fields in Bakersfield. I did education. I made mistakes in my life, but I never killed anybody. And that's what I want to come out.
Why did you keep taking his reservation checks after he was
Because
dead?
that's what he wanted me to do, sir. He wanted me to keep living because I'm the only one that was there for him. And in the transcripts and everything, there's things through interviews of different people. You're going to hear a lot of stuff that's going to put the whole puzzle together.
Isn't that illegal though for you to keep taking
No,
his
it's
check
not.
after he's dead?
No, it's not, sir. We're tribal. It's different. We're
Are you members
tribal.
of the same tribe?
No, but we're tribal. We believe in the same belief.
Okay, but I mean, as
And-
far as from
and-
the legal standpoint, how can you get tribal money?
Well, I was legally his power of attorney, and I've been taking care of everything since 2003 for him. I bought houses for him, new cars for him. He came home in 2005. I did things that I wasn't supposed to do, but I still went ahead and did it. And there's things you're going to hear where I even bent the rules to take him out of the county when he was on parole. And I shouldn't have did that because he wanted to pay his respects to his mother on a reservation. He didn't have permission, and his whole family knew I broke the law by taking him out twice. So, I mean, you know, we all have our own beliefs, and you know, in the interview with the detectives that she gave his wife, she left him in January, somewhere in 2008, she left him. And her kids never liked him because of the fact that what he was convicted for. And you know, like I said, I had to respect his wishes, and that's what I did, sir.
Let me pull up this thing real quick.
But I sent my sister the actual paperwork on the autopsy where there's no signs of trauma. There's no, I mean, and then the toxicology report, the laboratory analysis, they had all this done since last year, September the 9th. It took them 6 months just to render a decision. They say homicide. Homicide by what? Tell me how I killed this man. Tell the world. Don't get a bunch of detectives up there to say, well, we think he did it because of financial gain.
They called it homicidal violence, is what the coroner called it. 'Cause I saw the report.
I haven't seen it. I haven't.
Yeah, they called it. They ruled it a homicide, and they said the
violence.
Yeah, homicidal violence was the phrase they used.
Homicide of violence. Wow.
So,
Like I said, this is the first time I heard this, sir. I haven't seen it. Do you have a copy of the
I
autopsy?
don't have it with me. I'm sorry. It would be back on my email at the station. Who is Pablo Medrano?
He worked for me as a gardener. He cut grasses at the ranch and at the other homes we had. And I known him. He said I only known him for a year. I knew him since 2009. I met the guy in January, sir.
Did you ask him to help you move the body?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And because I trusted him, and me and my wife were getting ready on a rocky marriage and separation, so I needed to move him eventually. But I didn't ask him in 2009, 10, or 11. It was in 12 when I had asked him. I knew, but he said to you guys in Bakersfield, California newspaper, he only knew me for 1 year. That's a lie. He didn't know me for 1 year. And then they brought him in the second interrogation, and he cleaned it up. You know what I mean?
The court documents say that you bought 20 bags of horse manure to cover the odor of the body when you were moving it. Is that right?
I had him get some because I don't want the smell or anything, when I brought the brother up, and to put him back in my truck, you know what I mean? But like I said, I have nothing, I thought I could trust him. He says I gave him $3,000, I gave him $5,000. And like I said, the truth will come out in trial. I just want a fair trial.
Medrano also told investigators that you and him talked about what you would do to a child molester if you knew one.
No. He brought the conversation up, and because he had asked me what he was in prison, and I told him, and he was trying to make a joke of it, and I said, you know what, it's not jokeable, man. You know what I mean? But
So I'm sorry. So Medrano had been in.
No. He brought like a joke. He
brought it up
as a joke. He says we see a lot of dead bodies in Mexico because he speaks little English. They don't speak a lot of English, sir. Very little English. And to him, he was more concerned about the money. You know what I mean? I gave him $5,000 in cash, in my house in Grass Creek. When the police came there, it's funny. They made a missing persons report on the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. I go to my house. I have two places where I'm staying at, 218 Kirinau Road with Big Ranch, and then in 5908 Grass Creek. When I go to my house and pull up in my garage, officers come inside my garage and detain me. They take my phone, my keys. They ask if they could search. I said, search and get the hell out. But apparently they had the keys to get in the back already. So, you couldn't see nothing from the outside gates, and they said it was abandoned. That's a lie. I had PG&E, water, gas, cable, everything there. So they violated. I wasn't on parole, probation. They didn't have probable cause to even be there. To talk to me, yes. But to interrogate me and detain me, they took me to the police station for 3 days. They didn't feed me, didn't give me nothing to eat. They didn't care about the Miranda rights. They didn't care about the Fourth Amendment rights. They didn't care about the Fifth or Sixth or 14th Amendment rights. So now that they're gonna go on a court trial, I wanna see how they're gonna clean all this up. Because the paperwork I got right here shows you, they didn't have a warrant to even go on my property, sir. And then they detain me. That's like them going to, you get outside and they detain you, take you to a room where they're detaining you. They take your phone, you can't even call your attorney. That's what happened. And then they say, where I was getting at, the 9th, the missing persons report. The 12th, they detained me. 12, 13, 14, my wife makes some bullshit police report. I'm being detained already, okay? The 15th, they announce it to the world. So you talk about illegal search and seizure, you talk about Fourth Amendment violations. Look at the police reports. It says all that.
Let me play devil's advocate here for a second, because there's going to be a lot of people who are questioning of your story and what you're saying.
Oh yeah, please do.
If you were so worried about honoring his body and honoring his beliefs and his cultural beliefs and all that, why were there still body parts in both places?
I didn't even know that we had body parts, because he was wrapped up in a blanket. When I brought him up, he was in a blanket, sir.
Okay.
So I don't.
The Sheriff's Department says they found body parts in both locations.
Yeah, that's what they said. Nine bones. I got the thing right here. They said that there was a fence, you could see through it. They said they could see the hole. The hole was dug up by them. How could you see anything? Yeah, there was a fence, because the guy next door, he knew about it. Now he's trying to play informant for them. You know what I mean? Not telling the truth. He knew about us since 2009. And I poured concrete all the way, because he lost his job. We used to work for a concrete place out in Button Willow.
You see, that's another thing. It sounds like you're trying to cover it up when you put concrete over the
No. I covered it up because I don't want nobody to touch him. And that's just our belief. I don't want nobody to touch him, And you know what? I just trusted the wrong people, regardless of what, when this comes out in trial, everything, because I will act as my own attorney. I don't want no attorney. because
Yeah, that's the other thing. Why did you decide to represent yourself?
because the people, I could see people that want to get involved, they don't know what the hell they're talking about, cultural differences. And cultural differences is a strong belief that we have, sir. And they ain't gonna take that away from me.
Why not hire a tribal lawyer?
I thought about it. I'm weighing out a lot of stuff right now, but like I said, if he was murdered, then show us. You say by violence now, which I didn't know. I guess the autopsy has to show the toxicology report. What did it say on it? I don't know. You tell me.
They just released the cause and manner. They didn't give us the whole report.
See, that's what I'm trying to say. What are you hiding? If he died of torture, poisoning, different things like that, show us. Why are you hiding it? I was in the car. I was the last person to be. He died of a heart attack.
So let's go through that a little more closely. Okay, so you're driving. You pull over. He has a heart attack. He dies. Right? He died in the car.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I jumped out of the car and went around, and I didn't know if it was a heart attack at first. I heard something pop, but I realized it was something serious. And I was drawn. I thought maybe something cramped up, or but it was real. And I jumped back. I closed the door and jumped back, went around the car, got back in, and I started pulling out to go. And I remember what he asked me: "Don't resuscitate me, brother. If I ever have a heart attack, let me go. But honor my wishes." And that's what I did.
And so then, what happened then?
I pulled back over again, and it hit me that my brother just died. You know what I mean? And actually, I didn't go all the way through Golden State. I turned, if I remember correctly, and got back on the freeway. And I went back to the ranch. And like I said, he was wrapped up in a blanket, the way we were burial.
So you wrapped him in a blanket?
Yes, sir, in a tribal blanket.
So straight from the car, you wrapped him in a blanket?
Yeah, no, I put him it was 3 days later. I had him we lived in 1917 South Vineland. Has a big ranch out there. First they were saying it was arsenic that killed him. And that's what this idiot attorney that I had, I'm getting rid of him. He's never seen a case like this. And he said, he came to me that they're saying that coroners and this and stuff. Show us the cause of death. They know the cause of death. He died of a heart attack. They're gonna say with violence. Show us the cause of death. That's what I'm saying.
Well, and in discovery, they'll have to provide you with that, right?
Sir, we filed discovery. That's why I'm firing this attorney, because the BPD don't want to turn over everything. BPD don't want to talk about a lot of stuff. They want everything to present like they want. That's why I'm going to represent myself, because all these people I helped, they befriended me. They had shit. They were poor. They come to me for money. Every single one of them. Everyone that's going to testify all had to do with money. He put me in trust way before he passed on.
And how do you feel about that? The fact that you helped all these people, now they're going to testify?
You know what? The detectives are the detectives. But as long as I have a fair trial and I can present my case to the jury, let the jury determine everything, sir. It's sad that,
But your wife or your ex-wife and your neighbor and all these people you helped, now they're turning against you. Madrano.
My wife is bilingual. She's not from this country. I made her a citizen, and the situation, it is what it is, and I just got to present my best defense. And
do you feel betrayed?
I feel more hurt, but in this world, I guess you can really trust nobody, sir. You know what I mean? I guess.
Do you feel anger?
Angry at the situation because of what has happened. Like I said, people I thought I could trust. Why didn't years ago all these people say something? You know what I mean? And why didn't the so-called family that cared about him, come around after all these years? You know what I mean? Honestly. And the only reason why is because one of the ladies that was married, her name is Catherine Rodriguez Lugo. I took over a power of attorney with her husband, and she was pissed off at the situation.
What date did Mr. Hyde die?
He died September the 13th, 2008, sir.
2008.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the charging count they filed was on February the 1st. So we're going to go from what the deputy district attorney filed. And you know what, like I said, he filed that date, so he has to live with it.
Okay.
He'll try to amend the pleading, but everything else, like I said, he can amend everything, but we're going to go through trial with all this, and statute of limitations will be a big play on everything if he tries to file anything else. And due diligence is out the door, because you know what? They violated Fourth Amendment, illegal search and seizure. The police reports don't lie. They should have never detained me illegally. Once they seize your keys and your phone, you're arrested. They didn't put these handcuffs on, and I'm showing you this. So, I mean, when they took me to a police car for investigations, I should have had the right to have my attorney present. And they denied. They said, you're being detained, you're being detained. His name is Detective Moore in Calabasas. They broke the rule of law, and they have to live with that.
It says, the court document said that you received $600,000 in travel checks, is that right?
No, that was over a period of time. That's what I estimated, sir. I estimated that. It could be a little bit less, you know what I mean? But like I said, I did only what I was instructed in interviews of a lot of people. Basically, I feel like, wow, I guess because I did so much caring for an individual, and, you know, that I entrapped myself because I took on so much responsibility. When I mean by responsibility, everything that Mr. Hyde wanted, he didn't trust nobody. He wanted it in my name. Every single thing.
Well,
and that's where I'm getting to your point about 600,000. Right. He wanted all his stuff because he trusted no one but me. So honestly, because everybody's out to screw the guy. Yeah. I didn't become his power of attorney to 2006. I didn't become his power of attorney, sir. His wife was a power of attorney. When he came home in 2005, he said, this is all I got to show Frank? He got mad at me. I said, wait a minute, that's your wife, bro. This is what you wanted. He goes, she's fired. You got the job. Yeah. And that's the truth.
And just for clarification, you call him your brother, but he wasn't actually your brother.
No, he's not, no.
Just clarifying that part. So if you have this money, or at some point
this is over monthly. We call it per capita, sir. It's per capita. Actually, it's revenue sharing from the casino that operates. And see, you have a lot. See, that's another issue we have, is that this is a tribal Indian reservation that's federally recognized. And actually, the first reservation was here in Kern County. It was the old Tejon, and it was a military Indian reservation. And like I said, it was in 1851 and 1853. It was established by Beale in Congress. And like I said, all my ancestors were there.
What tribe was it?
There were many tribes, but
I'm sorry, what tribe was it that was issuing the checks?
Oh, that would be Morongo, sir.
Okay. And so then why not hire a big high-priced attorney and get yourself cleared?
I'm thinking, I haven't weighed out a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? I'm still going over a lot of stuff, you know. I had 6 months to think about all this. Like I said, I don't want to wait no more. And sometimes when you have to argue something and you feel in your gut that the only way you can do it, you always remember what your mother told you. When you want something done, boy, you got to do it yourself.
How they treating you here?
They treat me okay, sir. Okay. Yeah, they're fair here, sheriffs.
Okay. I wouldn't be a very good reporter if I didn't ask you this, so I have to ask you point blank. Did you kill Mr. Hyde?
No, I didn't kill him, sir. No, I didn't kill him. But ask him how it caused death. Please ask the people that sit there with these badges and guns over there at BPD headquarters and try to put a plan together why it took from the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, I was detained when they knew this. And then the 14th, some bullshit report comes out when they know I'm downtown in their office being detained. And the 15th, they announce it to the world. You know, and then I hear that Detective Moore is holding all up. You have to go through his permission to get this. And he's just a detective. And the lawyers that we had hired, they won't even give over all the discovery. You know, and this has become a mess here because, see, that's why BPD, police were investigated before by the Justice Department years back. Look into that. You'd be surprised all the complaints filed by the citizens of Kern County because they're always doing bullshit stuff they're not supposed to be doing, sir.
Did you give Mr. Hyde arsenic?
No, sir, no. Arsenic's in everything we eat. Why is a grown man like your size? He's bigger than me. He was a big man, sir. He was big. We call him John, his middle name, and he's Indian. He's 100% Indian in the heart, and that's the way I'm the same way. I'm Indian. I respected the brother. And 2005 when he came home, I was there for him every single day, 6, 7, 8, all the way into the end. So, I mean, please tell me, and I asked you as a citizen, please tell me, you know, if you have cultural beliefs here, and you respect your brother. He was older than me. He was like 4 or 5 years older than me. And he wanted me to do all this. Wouldn't you do what somebody asked you to do if you were in that position? You know, honestly.
Did you anticipate that something like this could happen if you followed his wishes?
I thought about it a few times because I had asked him how would I, you know, but he didn't care. He was a real honorary person. He always would say, I'm the king and you're my prince, so you do what I say. You know what I mean? He used to joke around. He even made a comment to his wife, he can have all my money, but he can't have my wife.
Wow.
And she said that to the detectives. And you know, she was jealous. My wife was jealous. A lot of people were jealous of our brothership because we had a brothership. And you know, because I never judged him. I never talked bad at him. I never put him down because he was changed.
Sounds like you're looking forward to your day in court to tell
You damn right I am. And you know what? I'm going to represent myself, or I can find co-counsel. Hopefully I can find an attorney that I can work with, because I want to be there to be able to cross-examine my befriended friends.
When it's all over, all said and done, what do you think is going to happen?
I don't know, sir. I can just hope and pray for the best. That's all I can do, you know, because I didn't kill no one. I didn't give them arsenic. I sent in paperwork. They have what's called a writ of habeas corpus here. And it's real funny how this judge denied it. And I looked at it and I said to myself, here this judge says stuff like the way he's saying it. And I can't wait to just see this in the higher courts, you know what I mean? Because, you know, like I said, illegal search and seizure. The 9th, 10, 11, 12. Remember those dates? 13, 14, 15. How all this transpired. On the 14th, when she made that report, I was already detained. You know what I mean? They already went in my house. They said there was holes already dug. It was noticeable that writ of habeas corpus, and the fence was down. It was an iron black fence and a wooden fence, 6.5 foot high. So, I mean, you know, you get people lying and in perjury. You're going to get people, they're going to try to say their differences. What the hell do they know about tribal Native American Indian whites?
How worried are you might spend the rest of your life in jail?
I think I'm going to win. I really believe that. I mean, that's just, I guess we'll have to see what it decides in the courts.
Okay. Anything else you want to say before we get it off?
No. Thank you.
Got everything you wanted to say? Okay.
Thank you.
Let me, we're just going to stop this for a second, and then I'm going to